Hi everybody, back again with another video. This is my mid-year update video. A few figures have been taken out of the detolfs just to give a little bit more room to see some of the better figures in the collection. Before we move on to what's in the detolfs, over here we have the Falconer Predator, which has been taken out and put in its box for the moment. The Heartbreaker Iron Man suit. Also we have the Secret Project Iron Man suit. We have the Ada Wong figure and the very cool female shooter. I will do a video on her at some point. So, on to the first detolf. These are the Terminators. Again, I'm using my new phone, so hopefully the camera will be pretty good. This is the original Terminator that they released with the DX equipment and guns and all that on him. Just love this figure. It's a really nice figure. I sold one of my DXs. This is the only DX Terminator I've got. This is the battle damage one, and in my opinion probably the best Terminator that's been released by Hot Toys. Great looking figure. Comes with a separate head sculpt that lights up. And over here we have the Terminator Genesis figure. A lot of people don't like this one. I think it's a cool figure apart from the hair. I wish they'd painted it to the white look that he had in the film, but I might get that done at some point. And I've got him standing on the John Connor Final Battle base, just to make him a little bit more interesting. There's his separate head sculpt, and there's the extra weaponry that I've used on this Terminator. Moving on down, here we have Arnie, Major Alan Dutch Schaefer. Fingers crossed Hot Toys will remake this one at some point. I've got a feeling they might. I will warn you with this video as well, you're going to see some dust. I've got to dust these cabinets out, and I'll be doing that after this video. So very unprofessional, I know. I should have cleaned them all first, but there you go. Didn't have time. This is Abigail Whistler from Blade Trinity. Still looking for a decent head sculpt for this. I've seen a few that collectors have done with rooted hair, so I'm trying to find one. Still a nice figure though. And here we have what a lot of collectors consider to be a holy grail figure. It's Blade, but you can buy third-party clothing now and make this one yourself for half the price. Still a lovely figure though. I'd like love Hot Toys to do a DX version of this, or an updated version, because the head sculpt's not brilliant, but the rest of it is pretty good. Okay, down to the third shelf. Here we have my kit-bashed Alice from Resident Evil Extinction. This is built on a Fison body. Trying to hold the camera steady so it doesn't go out of focus. Still getting to grips with it at the moment. Here we have the actual Hot Toys release of Alice from Afterlife. Another great figure. I'd love Hot Toys to have made some more, but I don't think they're going to do it because this franchise of figures never really sold very well, which I'm quite surprised about because they're quite popular movies. But, you know, maybe when they've got nothing else to make in the future, they might do one. Over in the background, we have at the moment my only two Star Wars figures. We have Rey Resistance version. Great looking figure. And on this side we have the Scavenger version. I did have Han Solo, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan Kenobi and a Stormtrooper, but I've sold them. The reason being, I've been having a little think just lately of where my collection is going, and it was starting to get out of hand. I was money-wise, it's just way too expensive to get the things that I want to get. The Hot Toys Star Wars line is superb, but there's just so many figures in that collection that I want to get that I've decided I'm not going to. I'm going to stop with the Star Wars line, apart from the odd female figure. I mean, I've got the 2 Jyn Erso figures on order. A lot of you guys and girls out there who watch my videos or have been watching them for a while will know that I'm a bit partial to female figures done by Hot Toys, probably more so than most other male collectors. Don't know why that is. Maybe it's my female side coming out, but I love the female figures, which is why you'll see quite a few in my collection. And they're going to be the only ones that I'm really going to get from Star Wars. I might get a Darth Vader at some point, because he is the most iconic character from Star Wars as far as I'm concerned. But we'll have to see. I'm going to mainly stick to Marvel, with the odd DC, and obviously Predators as well when they release more of those. So, last shelf in this detolf. There's the bad dust in the background. That is absolutely disgusting. But it will be getting done very soon. Okay, in the background we have a non-Hot Toys figure. This is Luke Devereaux, which is obviously Jean-Claude Van Damme from Universal Soldier, made by Damn Toys. Damn, look at that dust. That is disgusting. But with the detolfs right up against the wall, it's difficult to clean behind there, but I will do it. This is Sergeant Andrew Scott, Dolph Lundgren, obviously from Universal Soldier as well. Another nice looking figure. I don't normally venture outside of Hot Toys, but companies now are making really good figures, so I might have to do that a little bit more often. Here we have 2 figures from G.I. Joe. These are the only 2 I've got left now. This is Roadblock, Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. Again, really nice figure. A lot of collectors don't like the elbow joints. I can live with it. It's not too much of a problem for me. And this gun here doesn't come with a figure. I've just given it to him. There's a spare gun I had lying around. And here we have Snake Eyes. Probably the best figure from the G.I. Joe line that Hot Toys have done. Articulation on the legs isn't brilliant because of the trousers, but other than that, fantastic looking figure. So that's the first detolf. Let's just close this up and we'll move on to the second detolf. Okay, here we have my Predators. Starting at the back here, this is the P2 City Hunter. This is the new version, and I wanted to show him a bit different from how other people show him, so I put the breather on his face. I think it looks pretty cool. Great looking figure. Then all the Predators are, but then I am biased because it's my favourite movie monster. In the front here we have the Elder Pred. Oh, sorry, I dropped the camera there. Just get it to focus. There we go. This is the new and improved, updated Elder Predator. I would have liked the dreads to be a bit greyer, but still, fantastic piece. Probably one of the best Preds Hot Toys have done. And over in this corner we have the classic Predator from Predators, but I've turned him into the P1 Predator by adding extra pieces to him. I'm hoping that Hot Toys will do another Predator 1 at some point. Again, another fantastic looking Pred. So that's the first shelf. We'll now move down to the second one. Here we have my all-time favourite Predator, Celtic. Comes with 2 masks. I've given him the scratched mark helmet, and the chest plate does come off to give you another look. But great looking figure. Just put a little chest burster on his base there. In the front we have Berserker Predator. I say the other 2 Predators from this line, which is Tracker and Falconer, I've put away in the box. But there is a QC issue with these 3 Predators, and you can just about see it there. The strapping does come away, so that's got to be re-glued. Strapping on the chest does come out as well, and it's on the other 2 figures in this line, it does do that on the legs as well. But I've got him on the Machiko base, which you'll see in a minute. And finally on this shelf we have Scar. Awesome piece. Just love these Predators. A lot of people don't care for them, but I think they're awesome. As I said before, I am biased. And I put another little chest burster there. So down to the 3rd shelf. Starting over here, we have the Ancient Predator. I will be buying another one of these at some point, because this one comes with 2 different masks. This mask here was the one that when they released these originally, the older versions, this was the special version helmet that they sold on the American version. And then if I move on down, you have this biomask, which was the Asia edition. So what they've done is they've just made 1 Predator and given you the 2 masks this time. So I will be buying another one. Again, another great base. See these skulls that I've got lying about on some of the shelves? They were accessories for some of the Predators. Here we have Machiko. Quite a highly sought after figure. They are available still, but they're quite pricey. And I've just modded it by giving it the Hot Toys Alice band things there to hide the joints. And I've got her on the original P1 base for the first Predator that Hot Toys released, because she stands better on that than she does on her own base. And there's her mask as well. But awesome figure. There is an alien version, female alien version, that's coming out as well, but I won't be getting that. And here we have the new version of the Elder Predator from AVP. The head sculpt is great, but the paintwork isn't. I'm hoping I'm going to have a word with Nenny D. A lot of you people who are into this hobby will know who Nenny D is. He's really good at repainting Predators and customizing them, and he's done a few of these for a couple of people in the community, and the results are awesome. So I'm gonna very nicely ask him if he can do one for me, obviously for a price, but I don't mind paying that. I will be doing a video on this figure at some point. Great cape, different type of spear, but you'll see that in the video when I do it. And finally, for this detolf, moving on down, here is my kit bashed Chopper Predator. I've just done a video on him before this one, so check that out. All pieces made by Dave Apro, lives in Germany. Hit him up on Facebook. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to do you some. This is on the Celtic Predator body. And as I mentioned in the video, I used the Celtic Predator figure because the armour is closer to the Chopper Predator than the Scar version. In the front we have one of the Lost Predators. This is the Shadow Predator, otherwise known as Snake, and I've just put 2 of the bone trophies on his back there just to make him look a little bit different. They're also done by Dave Apro as well. Very bare bones sort of figure. It's got no wrist gauntlets or armour or anything like that. And I've just given him the Gort mask. This is from the Hot Toys Guardian Predator that I used to have. I thought it's quite fitting for him. And finally, in the background, we have Wolf. This is my slightly modified Wolf. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know what it is. All I've done is I've given him the extendable whip, which you can just about see there in the background. This is the cleaner kit version, by the way, and I've given him the extra cannon. I will be selling this one at some point in the very near future, because Hot Toys have announced the 2.0 version of this. If you've seen the San Diego Comic-Con videos, you would have seen it. Just waiting to see if they release it with the extended whip. From the pictures that I've seen on the net, it hasn't. It's just got a rolled up one. So I'll have to wait and see. But this is a figure that I will be selling very, very soon. So I'll just put a little pause in here. And when we come back, we'll take a look at the final two details. Okay, before we come on to the last two details, this is my Hulk. If it focuses. There we go. This is the second version. This is the Age of Ultron version. It's the deluxe with the two head sculpts and the alternate torso. Now it looks quite pale, the green on the camera. It's just the light. It is a little bit darker than that, or more greener than what you're seeing, but it's not as vibrant green as the first release Hot Toys did. That was more comic book version. This one is more realistic, as far as, you know, in my opinion anyway, which is why I sold my original one to buy this one. And I will be getting the Gladiator Hulk from Thor Ragnarok, because that is a one beast of a figure. I won't sell this one though. I want to have a traditional Hulk in my collection, but that one is a definite must. I've already ordered it from Sideshow, and I believe that's out next year sometime. There's quite a few figures from San Diego Comic-Con that I've ordered, but I'll probably mention those on another video. So let's move over to the last two details. Before we do, these are the figures that I've put in boxes for the moment. We have Tracker Predator, Commando, we have the Avengers and the Winter Soldier versions of Black Widow in their boxes. Here we have Boy Black, otherwise known as Riddick. I will do a video on him at some point. I've got my General Zod here and the Age of Ultron version of Black Widow. And over in the background, right there, that is the Bat Armory, which I'm also thinking about selling because I want to get the BVS Batman. So here we go with Marvel. First up is Captain America from Age of Ultron. I was going to get the Civil War version, but they're just too similar. The only main difference is this one's got a little bit more white on it, and obviously the head sculpt for Civil War has got the interchangeable mouth plates, so I will be buying just that head sculpt and putting it on here. But this is an awesome Captain America. In the front we have one of my new figures. This is the Mark 46 Iron Man from Age of Ultron. Great figure, lots of light up features on it. The main problem with this one though is the base, and when I do a video on that I will explain all. So I've just got him on a generic sort of plain base for the moment, but it's a great looking Iron Man. It's not my ultimate Iron Man. I'm waiting for the die-cast Mark IV to come out, and I'm assuming it will be announced at some point. They've just announced the Mark II die-cast, so there's only about 2 or 3 die-cast versions left for them to bring out. So I would say Mark IV will come. Okay, over here we have the light Asgardian armoured version of Thor from Dark World. The Age of Ultron version is almost identical, apart from the head sculpt. The head sculpt on the Age of Ultron version is slightly better, so I'm planning on buying that head sculpt and swapping it out for this one. This isn't the base he comes with. This is the Iron Man Mark VI base, I believe, because the base that he comes with is just too big and he doesn't really stand on it that well. He's more of a flight sort of pose sort of stand, and I don't want him in flight mode. I have ordered the Thor Ragnarok figure, the one with the long hair. I'm not going to go for the Gladiator Thor. Moving on down, a couple of more new figures for you here in my collection. This is the Mark III die-cast War Machine from Civil War. Hands down the best War Machine. The revamped Mark I in die-cast is pretty good as well. I didn't bother with that one. I just wanted this one because it's got what I want. It's got all the armament and it's a bulky suit, which is why I got him. Here we have Pepper Potts. Just need a Tony Stark to go with her. You've got to have Pepper Potts in your collection, especially if you're an Iron Man fan. I'm a Gwyneth Paltrow fan. Love that woman, which is why I had to have her. It's not the best head sculpt, but it's probably the better one out there at the moment. And over here, another new figure. This is the Falcon from Civil War. Doesn't articulate as well as the Age of Ultron Falcon, but it's still nice. I've got him with his wings off. He will fit in a detolf with the wings on. It's a bit of a nightmare logistically to sort of manoeuvre him into the detolf, and it takes up a lot of room, so I've opted to take them off for the moment until I can get a big cabinet to put up on the wall, and he will go in that with his wings out. But it's a nice looking figure. It's got some great extras as well, but I'll go through that when I do a video on him at a later date. Next shelf down, another new figure here, which is Black Panther. Great looking figure. Doesn't come with a lot, but then he didn't in the film, so why would they give him any extras? A lot of people complaining about it, but Hot Toys go on what the film does, so you weren't going to get any extras with this guy. Maybe the only thing you could have got is an unmasked head sculpt, but I reckon that will come on the next release of this guy on his solo movie. I don't think the suit's going to change too much, probably a little bit of colour change here and there, but other than that I think it'll be pretty much the same, but we'll wait and see. Here we have Quicksilver. There is a possibility that this guy will come back in Infinity Wars, so if you haven't seen Age of Ultron, spoiler alert, he dies. But one of the Infinity Stones does grant reincarnation, I believe. So there is a strong possibility that he could come back to life in that movie, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I've heard with Infinity Wars, the movie, there's going to be one scene where you've got 32 different characters on screen at once. So save your money up, guys, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of figures coming out from that movie. In the background, we have, in my opinion, the best Hawkeye that Hot Toys have released. It's more reminiscent of the comic book version, mainly because of the pink coloration, or the purple coloration on his clothing there. But it's the head sculpt is slightly better as well than the other two versions, and it's mainly down to the paintwork on it. But awesome figure. Here we have Black Widow from Civil War. So I've got all the other Black Widows apart from the original one. I've just sold her, and having all of them, I'm pretty much qualified to say that this is probably the better face sculpt out of all of them. It's not people's favourites, but it is the better head sculpt. And with the next version from so the Infinity Wars, maybe they'll get it just about right. But this is a great figure. I will bring the others out eventually again and put them on show, but I've just got her on her own for the moment. And there's the mini Ant-Man. And the last shelf in this detolf is my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. figures. So we have Agent Coulson here. This is becoming more popular now again, and the prices are going up on this guy. It's quite hard to find. There's not many of them about on eBay, and when they do come up, they're quite pricey. So glad I got him. And I'm getting the Ghost Rider from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. That one will be coming into my collection, and I'm hoping to pick up the bike that they released with the first version of Ghost Rider all those years ago. I'm hoping to go on eBay and pick up the bike on its own. But he doesn't. If you haven't seen the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ghost Rider doesn't have a bike in that, he has a car. So here's the best Nick Fury that Hot Toys have released. Admittedly, they've only released 2, but this is the Winter Soldier version, and it's just a huge improvement on the original. Really is. The head sculpt is pretty much spot on. That is Samuel L. Jackson, and I've given him. Oh, I've got the case. This is the original case that come with the first one, and it does light up. It's getting a bit dull now. And I've got some of the Infinity Stones that have been released. These things, this one here, the Ether, is going for ridiculous money on eBay, and it's a stupid little piece of plastic with an LED light in it, and people are asking phenomenal amounts of money for that. It's probably make your own, but I managed to get hold of this for virtually nothing, luckily. And finally, in the corner, we have Maria Hill. That's it. They played by Kobe Smulders. I had to get Maria. I don't think Hot Toys are going to make any more of her, because she's not an important character really in the films. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of her in Infinity Wars, because she's a good actress and it's a great character. I think she could do a lot more. Maybe have her and Black Widow teaming up to take some people down. Would be awesome. But nice figure. I haven't done a video on her yet, but it will come eventually. So moving on to the final DTOF. Oh, this is mainly some DC and some more Marvel. So we'll start with the DC. We have Catwoman, played by Anne Hathaway. Fantastic figure, quite highly sought after as well, and it's quite pricey now. So I'm glad I got it when it was released. I've mentioned it in previous videos, but this is a bitch. It breaks very easily, so that's why I don't play around with it. And over here we have the DX Batman with the Bat Armory head sculpt on. The Bat Armory head sculpt is more accurate because it's got the black around the eyes, whereas the head that come with this figure didn't have that. I was thinking about selling this guy, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to keep hold of him. This isn't his original base. I will put the original base back on and put him on that at some point, but I want to get the BVS Batman, which is why I'm going to sell the Bat Armory, just so I can get some money for that. And I'm getting Harley Quinn. She should be my next figure from Hot Toys arriving, and she will stand up there with those. Second shelf, again, more DC. This is the BVS Superman. My favourite out of the 2 Supermen that have been released. A lot of people say that the legs are too bulky. Yes, I think you're probably right. They're a little bit short and quite buffed up. But it doesn't really bother me too much. I love this Superman. That's not his original base, and this is the exclusive version. I think the light still works, if I can find it. Yep, there you go. Kryptonite, quite bright. I would say his original base is the same as this one, but it's more of a flight pose sort of base, so I didn't bother with it. Speaking of Batman, here's the Nightmare version from BVS. Fantastic figure, this one. This is why I want to get the BVS Batman. I've been watching quite a few reviews on him and he's just unbelievably good. Okay, the penultimate shelf, we have Deadpool with my kit bashed Fison female, just to stand with him, because I think it got to have a woman with Deadpool. Here we have the best Wolverine that's been released, Days of Future Past. Fantastic looking figure. Doesn't come with much, but doesn't need it because it is just unbelievably good. And behind him we have the very first release of Wolverine. This is the Wolverine Origins. The head sculpt isn't that good, but it's just a brilliant figure. I love it, which is why I've kept him. I'm just rushing through these last ones because my phone's nearly run out. And finally we have Ant-Man This is the original version. Didn't like the suit on the Civil War one, which is why I kept this one. And this does have the Paul Rudd face sculpt, so it's good enough for me. Probably my least favourite figure in my collection, Vision, but I had to get him just to complete my Avengers line. It's a nice figure, but it doesn't really do much for me, so I had to have him. And finally, we have the movie promo version of Scarlet Witch from Age of Ultron, and I will be getting the Civil War version because it's just slightly better tweaked version of this. Very similar, but clothing's a little bit different, and I believe the head sculpt is slightly different as well. So she will be coming my way. So yeah, there you go. That's my updated collection as of halfway through 2017. Next video will probably be this guy. So until then, as always, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next video. Take care.